My wife admitted to cheating on me for 4 years out of boredom. My world shattered in an instant, not with a bang, but with a horrifying, unexplained silence. For 17 years, my wife and I had built a life, a family, a love story that started back in high school. But then 3 weeks ago, she vanished, leaving behind only tears, fear, and a confession that would rip everything apart. We were the picture of a perfect family. Me, 40, my wife, 39, and our 3 beautiful daughters, 11, 13, and 15. 23 years together. High school sweethearts, a bond one thought was unbreakable. 3 days before she left, she came home from work, seemingly normal. But on the 4th day, my oldest daughter watched her quickly pack an overnight bag, her face a mask of panic, her sobs so deep she could barely speak. Then, she was gone. No calls, no texts, just a chilling void. I frantically called her parents. They eventually replied, saying she was safe with them, urging me to be understanding and patient. Understanding. Patient. What was happening? Her brother knew nothing. Her coworkers said she'd left work early days ago. My girls were asking, what happened to Mom? All I could tell them was that she was with Grandma and Grandpa, and we needed to be understanding. It was a lie, a hollow shield against their growing fear. My heart was in a vice. We never argued. The girls knew that. Now they thought we were divorcing. I paced, feeling helpless, angry, and terrified. My wife was my rock, my first call in any crisis. What trauma could have hit her so hard? I sat in limbo, unable to think straight, overwhelmed by every terrible emotion imaginable. The silence was unbearable. So, late that night, acting on the desperate advice of strangers, I called the police. A wellness check. What followed was a maelstrom. The truth, when it finally hit, felt like a physical blow. My wife had been having an affair for at least 2 years, maybe more. And the other man, he had died of a heart attack just days before she disappeared. My mother-in-law and sister-in-law knew, covering for her all this time. The betrayal was staggering. She still hadn't contacted our daughters or me. I was left alone, reeling, trying to protect my girls from a truth that felt like the end of my world. I couldn't sleep. The rage and the grief hit me in waves, leaving me a hollowed-out zombie. Everything I thought I knew about our life, our love, our future, was a lie. If you're still with me, still wanting to hear how this unbelievable story unfolds, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. More raw, personal stories like this are coming. My wife, my best friend since high school, the mother of my 3 girls, everything. Secret handshakes, inside jokes, shared dreams. All of it. Gone. Just gone. The memories, the milestones, the laughter, they suffocated me, leaving me crippled with depression. It was as if none of it had ever mattered to her. Then the "how could you?" roared in my mind, an uncontrollable fury. I'd pound my mattress, scream into my pillow until my arms ached. The cycle was relentless. A week later, I learned the affair had lasted over 4 years. 4 years of lies, deception, and a double life, possibly starting emotionally, then physically. My in-laws, utterly humiliated, came to visit the girls. They then asked for a private conversation with me. What they really wanted was to convince me to forgive my wife, to keep the marriage together. They wanted her out of their house. I played along, pretending I wasn't sure about divorce, even though my mind was made up. I just needed her to sit in front of me, look me in the eyes, and explain everything. I needed that for closure, for my girls to see I gave her a chance to be an adult. Legally, my wife could come home anytime. My attorney made that clear. But I needed time. So I made a demand I thought she couldn't meet. She could come home if, and only if, she sat down with me, looked me in the eyes, and told me every single detail of her affair from beginning to end, without hesitation or more lies. After that, she would face the girls, apologize, and answer their questions. I wasn't trying to be cruel, just to buy time, to gather myself for the inevitable. The divorce waiting period in our state was 90 days. I needed to plan. Then, yesterday, the day arrived. My wife came home. The air was thick with a tension I'd never felt. Normally, I'd embrace her, kiss her. This time, I turned away when she tried to hug me. Unbelievable, I thought. as if nothing had happened. I begged her to tell me everything. "I'm not ready," she whispered. My blood ran cold. I took a deep breath, trying to keep my voice steady. But I snapped. "You've been having an affair with a coworker for over 4 years," I started, my voice rising. "You plan to leave me for another man. You ghosted your entire family. And now you walk in here, unable to meet the one request I had. I want a divorce." The look on her face, pure shock. She didn't know how much I knew. She just stood there, staring at the floor, silent, stern. Not the emotional outburst I expected. Not the tears, not the accusations. Just a somber, silent acceptance. We stood in that kitchen in complete silence for what felt like an eternity. I laid out everything I knew, every painful detail, every assumption. Still, she just looked at the floor. No sobs, no regrets, no justification. Nothing. It was agonizing, perhaps even more painful than the D-Day itself. Then, things got worse. Our girls had been listening. Our oldest, a volcano of pent-up rage, stormed downstairs, screaming. My wife fled to the bedroom, locking the door. I could hear her sobbing through the night. It was later that night, after the girls were asleep, that she came to my room, begging to talk. We went to my car, needing to avoid the children. For 3 hours, she confessed everything. Her sister had introduced her to the AP 5 years ago. He was a higher up at the company she wanted to work for. He started flirting, texting, then pictures. Just before COVID, it became physical. She admitted confessing to her sister, but not to me. She claimed she tried to stop, but always went back to him. The remorse was never enough. She then pulled out a 5-page packet of handwritten notes, detailing her affair history, responding to my questions as she went. The elaborate lies she told for years, weekend getaways with the girls, work trips, traffic delays, shopping excursions, they were all just covers to be with him. Hearing it all, the cold, calculated deceit, it was worse than I could have imagined. Yet, she claimed her love for me never truly wavered. She said she fell in love with him, fantasized about a life of luxury and travel he promised, a life free from the boredom of family routines. Then, after delivering this gut-wrenching confession, she looked at me, her eyes filled with tears, and told me how much she loved me, how she always would, and that she would stop at nothing to save our marriage. But it felt rehearsed. After over half my life with her, I could see through it. I asked her one last question, the one I'd wanted to ask since I found out. If he were still alive, and you had to choose between him and me, who would you pick? She hesitated. "That's not fair," she whispered. I pressed her. Finally, she said, "Of course, I'd choose you." "You're lying again," I told her, my voice calm but firm. "That's why I'm divorcing you." She broke down, sobbing. We sat there in the car for a while, her crying, me just exhausted. I told her we were divorcing, that we owed it to our girls to be good parents, to get along amicably. I told her that if she truly loved me, she would make this divorce amicable and fair after all the pain she'd caused. And then, I leaned over, kissed her on the forehead, and got out of the car. I went to bed, leaving her there, finally ending it. The hardest part, she cheated on me for over 4 years because she was bored. Not because of problems, not because we grew apart, not because of a dead bedroom. Just because she was bored. I don't know if that makes it better or worse. It's a bitter pill to swallow, knowing that the one person I thought I knew better than anyone else, the woman I loved more than life itself, could so casually betray everything we built, all for the fleeting thrill of an escape. What would you have done in my place? Have you ever had to face such a devastating betrayal? Tell me what you think in the comments below. I really want to know.